I just want to take a few minutes and say welcome, tell you a little bit about myself, about Standard Twain. I'm sitting at my grandfather's cabin just outside of Nashville. I was a big cigar smoker when I was growing up. Well, eventually my grandmother got sick of him smoking in the house. He decided to build this amazing log cabin just so he could smoke his cigars indoors. He didn't build a man cave or a bunker down the garage with a space heater. He decided to build a full-on log cabin. A lot of some of our best moments out here were in the cabin, sitting together, smoking, enjoying cigars, and talking. So I'll show you around a little bit. I've been smoking cigars for like 20 years or so. Started when I was in college, and soon after that, I got an internship while I was still in college at CAO. Back when they were in Nashville, they were still a family company owned by the Osguners. Got a lot of experience there. Went on to study tobacco, lived in Nicaragua for a while. I know from experience that there's about a 90% chance, if you were watching this, you are in one of like 2 spots in your cigar journey. And by the way, I'm blind tasting a Standard Twain cigar right now. This is from our latest package. So I'm gonna smoke it for a little bit longer, and then I'll show you guys what we're smoking, do a little cigar reveal. You guys can see how it works. So I'll show you inside. And not only is it, a place that has a lot of meaning to me because of my grandfather's cabin, that is also actually the birthplace of Standard Twain. This is where the concept was born, and also where it kind of came to fruition. The first scenario that you're probably in, if you're watching this video and you're a cigar smoker, you've just started getting into cigars, but you're trying to figure out what's what, and you probably found a few favorites, but you want to expand what you know. You've realized that it is a deep dive into the world of cigars. I can relate to that. I still walk into a wine shop. I'm like, just how the hell does everybody know all the different varietals and vintages and all that? Like, so much. And I know that's a lot of people feel walking into, say, like a big humidor. So where do you start? You've got the kind of the classic brands, the Fuente and the Padrones and all those. You've got the newer boutique cigars, and you've got a million cigars, a million brands somewhere in the middle. All different price points, all different countries and branding. And hard to know, really figure out what you like, what's good, what's to your palate. It can be a bit daunting. I'll show you. We're gonna walk through this door here. Rocking chairs, fireplace over here. So many afternoons, I guess, spent with my grandfather smoking. So many evenings spent with friends. We sit around the fire, hanging out, having a great time. And along with a lot of great memories, also one important one was this is actually where Standard Twain, like I said, was born. After college, a lot of my friends from my hometown we'd all gone our separate ways, right? Living in different parts of the country. But for Christmas, we would all come back, to be with the family at home. And so we decided everybody's gonna go and select a really unique, a really special cigar, pay a little bit more for it. And then we're gonna remove the labels. We found that it was actually way more enjoyable. You're really focusing more on the cigar than if you already know what it was. You got the band here, you know a little bit about it. The country, you're just kind of smoking it. It's good, of course, but you're kind of giving it, 50%, 40% paying attention to it. Whereas if you're blind tasting it, you're really focused on it. You're trying to figure out what the flavor is. You're trying to figure out, what could this be? Is it Nicaraguan? Is it Dominican? Is it Honduran? Is it a Cuban cigar? We really had a really good time, right? And then at the end, we did the cigar reveal. That actually became an annual tradition for our friends around Christmas time. We thought, this would be, I wish other people could experience this. There's got to be a way to make it accessible for everybody. So how could we bring this concept to everybody and make it really, really cool, really unique, really well done? All right, so let's go back in this room here. I'll show you a couple things. So this was my grandfather. He was in the Navy in the 50s, so it's like his uniform and some photos of him in the Navy. Like I said, great man. Really proud to have as my grandfather. Cigars, like I said, really brought us way closer than we ever would have been. You know, it's not just rolled up leaves and tobacco. It's not just say about cigar looking cool. It's a meaningful thing. It means something. I believe that. After CAO was bought out, I took a break, traveled for a while, lived in Nicaragua, lived in Spain, came back to the States, and that's when started working for Crowned Heads a little bit. And around that time is when we began to make the Standard Twain business a reality. This table here, this is where Standard Twain went from a concept to a real project and eventually into a real business. This is where a lot of testing of different designs, how we're gonna make this practical, what kind of packaging we use, all that stuff like that. We started right here. So yeah, we'll do the cigar reveal here in a minute. This is a beautiful cigar. It's sweet, but it's got a lot of strength and a lot of pepper through the nose. It's really well balanced. Look forward to doing the cigar reveal. So the second scenario that you may be in if you are cigar smokers, that you've been smoking for a long time, right? You're a veteran cigar enthusiast. You're kind of where I was when I started Standard Twain, which is, so even as somebody back then who smoked a lot, who knew cigars pretty well, who knew tobacco pretty well, I couldn't not have preconceived notions that you take into when you're smoking a cigar. You can't help take bias into a cigar. You can't when you know what it is. Kind of a unique tasting example of this. Say somebody says there's a lot of really dark chocolate in this cigar. That's what you're tasting. That's what you're gonna get out of this cigar. When you start smoking the cigar, your mind will actually reach, whether there is dark cocoa flavor in this cigar or not, your mind will search for that, and you will likely find that flavor, whether it exists or not, because you've already got that in your head that is what this cigar is going to taste like. Preconceived notions, preconceived bias is a really, it's a real thing, and it's important when evaluating cigars, and it's important when figuring out what cigars you like. Having said that, let's check this cigar out, right? If you're new to Standard Twain, what we're gonna do is we're gonna scan this QR code. It'll take us to the cigar reveal, and we'll learn all about what we smoked. Let's scan this QR code. So that was the Tatuaje Avion 12. No surprise, a beautiful cigar made by Pete Johnson and My Father Cigars in Esteli, Nicaragua. And it is getting hot in here, so we're gonna step outside. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for supporting Standard Twain. If you're new to cigars or if you're a veteran cigar enthusiast, I encourage you to check out Standard Twain. Give it a try, see if you enjoy it. Try smoking without preconceived bias on brands. We get rid of the brands, we get rid of the marketing, we get rid of the price points, and it's just you and the tobacco and the smoke. No brands, no bias. Give it a try, and thank you for supporting Standard Twain. Cheers, guys.